Hello, good afternoon. Hope you're all well. Welcome to our live stream. Same as I always do, we'll just go through a couple of checks before we get started. This one here, we'll explain what we're cutting out as well, how we're doing it, what we've done to prepare it. So bear with me just while I check the sound. 2 seconds. Live stream. Here we are, and we're on. Right, so this one here has been done. I've designed this one especially for our good friend in Virginia, the carver. And yeah, following on from a conversation, going to what I believe is the Bigfoot Festival. And so we've designed a simple Bigfoot themed. This one here, I was thinking it's going to be a fridge magnet. That was the idea behind it. So you've got a heart shape, and then you've got the feet, and then you've got the words Bigfoot in the design. Excuse me, I thought I was going to have another go at doing some scroll sawing of some text, as I'm consistently failing when it comes to cutting out text. So I thought I would mark this one out correctly and see. Oh, that's Dad in the background. I was going to see if I could get it done, if I could actually get the text completed. So that's my task for today. So same process as normal. I'm going to start off doing the pierce work. I've got 2 layers stacked together. I sanded the back of the project to get it nice and flat so it's not rocking about on the scroll saw. And we're going to show you then how to cut this one out. So yeah, having spoken to Brian, quite a big thing I believe out in the US is the Bigfoot, that sort of thing, and the Bigfoot Festival. Hello there, Sawyer Rob. You are indeed. You're live here with us. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, great to have you here as always. And this one, we're doing this one for the carver. And it's because he's, I believe he's going to the Bigfoot Festival to sell some things. So I thought I'd come up with a little design that he might be able to use. So hopefully at some stage you've joined us. And if not, I'll be sharing it with him later. See if it's of use to him. So let's get into it. Hello, Mark. Great to have you with us as well. Thank you both for joining us. Nice little love spoon you had on the scroll sawing group on Facebook the other day on the free scroll saw patterns. I had to comment on it. See, when I see a love spoon like that, I had to put a little comment. It definitely got my vote for the right thing to give for a wedding. And we've also got John. Hello there. From Ontario, Canada. Brilliant. Oh, thanks for joining us. Well, this one here that we're working on, I'm just looking at the 2 layers. The top layer is oak, and the bottom layer, looking hard there, is a piece of, yeah, it is, a piece of ash, which we don't have as much of now, because here in Wales, well, there's a lot of it about at the moment, but we're not going to have much in the future, because we got the problem with ash dieback. But there we are. I'm going to get straight into it and start cutting out some of the different parts of this design. Any questions, any thoughts? Get them into the comment section, and away we go. Okay, so we're just starting off with some of the pierce work there. We've actually got, we've managed to do something a bit silly. You may be able to see it on the camera. Earlier today, there we go. We managed to go and sand my finger. Not a very good thing. Basically, I was sanding the back of these nice and flat, ready for doing the scroll sawing, and not concentrating properly. Perfectly 100% blame is at my doorstep, and a piece of wood went flying, and the next thing I realised I was sanding my fingers. So a bit uncomfortable to scroll saw, but we got to get on with it, and it's got to be we got to carry on with the making. These things don't stop us, maybe slow us down a little bit. We've got the blade we're working in is the Nickworth number 12. It may be getting towards the end of its cutting life because I've been using it for a little while. But the reason I'm using this is both these layers, the ash and the oak, are extremely hard. They're very hard. Those two particular pieces of wood. This oak in particular is a really hard piece. That's why I'm using it for this as opposed to hand carving it. The last week or so, we've been busier. Looks like we've got a quiet week ahead, but we were quite busy in the workshop. And it's interesting for myself then, the scroll sawing projects that we're making seem to be getting more and more interest. So we consistently get interest in the Lovespoons, and that's where people specifically come to us, is to see the Lovespoons and to buy Lovespoons from us. But the scroll sawing is getting more and more interest. So last week, for instance, I had 2 orders for dog-themed coasters. So I'm going to present it as well as a video and show some of our different projects that we're making and that are proving popular at our family workshop. So those things will be coming up. So I'm going to continue cutting out the pierced work for this Bigfoot design. So we're going to carry on cutting through there. And so it's mask back on and we'll carry on cutting. Now with that one there, as I mentioned, really hard stuff, and I can see a line there, a scroll saw line, so I'm just going to go back over that cut just to take out the line where it's just marked the wood slightly. It's something like that as well that gives us a decision to make now. Now that blade, it's not cutting badly or anything like that, but how much time is it going to cost me if I got to keep going back over things? So at this stage, because I know it is a worn blade, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it out for another blade, because you've got to make that decision. Is it going to save you more time to change the blade and cut with a new blade? Or is the old blade, still got plenty of cutting in it? My decision is going to be that I'm going to change that out. I'm not going to throw that blade away though. It may come in useful if I'm cutting something softer, something easier, or, something like, I find myself, drop the blade. I find mahogany, for instance, cuts well. So if I'm working on mahogany, on a mahogany stack, something like that, I can use that blade again. Also as well, I think, looking at that, it's possibly that it was actually a number 9 blade as opposed to the number 12. So we'll see what happens now. The number 12 blade, stronger blade than the number 9. But of course, the downside of that is that your turning circle is bigger. So we give it a go. We see how it gets on. Straight away, that hole there, I can see it's just riding a little bit. So I'm gonna have to make sure when I start the machine, I've got a good grip. Otherwise, it's gonna start bouncing around as we cut. Right, so this is where trying different blades, yeah, you know, sometimes there is a little bit of trial and error in what we do, and so I'm going to change that blade again. I'm going to go with the Pebeco. That's too big. It's too for the fine detail. I can't get the turning circle that I want from it. So let's go for the Nikwa Pebeco blade. It's such an important thing. Blades, you know, anyone who's learning scroll sawing, anyone who's new to scroll sawing, even if you're very experienced, I mean, for ourselves, we would just use, you know, for 20 years, we pretty much use the Nikwa Speed reverse tooth number 9 blade. We just use it for everything. Now, I do change about a little bit more with the blades, and getting that right blade for the job, it does make a huge difference. So this is the one that I'm hoping now is going to do the best job for me. It's basically the number 12, because it was catching the back edge with the back of the blade, it's going to burn it, so it's going to make more work. So the older blade was burning because it was an older blade. The number 12 was burning because I'm catching the back of the blade because it's fine detail. The Pebeco, I find it's a really good blade for not burning. So let's hope third time lucky. I think that's the one that's going to do the job for us. It's just such a, you know, when it comes to this particular piece of oak, it is such a hard piece of wood. We bought it in a furniture sale. As soon as we bought it and we tidied it all up and started working with it, we realised, wow, this stuff is tough. But it's fine for a job like this one here. But I'd rather, you know, get that right with the blades, otherwise it's just going to take us so long to get a quality finish on what we're doing. Right, just going to turn that over just to check it's all okay. Yeah, that's fine. You can also see my when I've drilled this out, I can just see that the drill bit has actually drifted a little bit on there. So that's something that will need a little bit of attention afterwards. May have a few problems with the bottom layer, but it just happens like that sometimes. May have to look at that at some stages to get a new drill press to see if we can get it more accurate. Any thoughts on that? If you know of a really good drill press that's really accurate in terms of getting it cut perfectly straight, those small drill holes, let me know in the comment section. So we're going to finish off this one here, and then we got one little cut just behind the bead there, and that's pretty much going to be most of the work for this side of the design. We got to finish off then the rest of the pierce work on the other part, and then cut the surround, and then I got another little design that we're going to start cutting out. Right, so yeah, well on with that one there. And just to pause and just to focus again on the blade situation, I'm basically a lot happier with that one there that I'm working with. It just makes such a difference. If you've got the right blade in and you're comfortable and you're happy with it, that blade there, I've always recommended the Nicholas Speed number 9 reverse tooth blade, but those are well worth trying as well. We've tried all sorts of different ones. The Pegasus blades, for instance, we've tried a lot of those. We find they're really good blades. The only issue we ever have with the Pegasus blades is we find that we have to sand the ends to get them to grip properly in our blade holder. We don't have the same problem with the Flying Dutchman blades, which I've always found really good. The reason I don't use them, especially if you're watching in the US and you're thinking, well, you use yourselves Flying Dutchman blades. The reason I don't use them is because they're much more difficult to get hold of here in the UK. as are now the Nikwa Speed ones, because Hegner UK have stopped selling the size that we like. But I started I started buying directly from Nikwa, and the Nikwa Pebeco and the Nikwa Speed Blades. They do a great job. Hello there, Nico. We're just doing a live stream. How can we help?
I finally got the military job.
Oh, well done, Nico. There we are. He's playing his game and he's got his job that he wanted. Right, so we're going to cut out this. We'll cut out all the detail and then we'll cut the surround. Yeah, and I didn't want to, that last little cut, I didn't want to go too far because I noticed again that it was very, very tight in terms of the bottom layer where that pierce work, where that hole had gone. So I've done enough. If afterwards I want to make it more distinctive and make it more clear and to get that sort of separation, I can use the hand carving skills. So that's something that I do personally, is to combine the hand carving with the scroll sawing. Hola Jaime, ¿cómo estás? Todo bien aquí, y yo hace una cosa, un imán para la nevera. Just explaining to Jaime that we're just going through the process of cutting out this fridge magnet. Yeah, so you can see it's starting to take shape. That's the nice thing. I hope everyone has the same sort of enjoyment then when you do a project, especially when you sort of take it from design to finished product, to see it taking shape, to see it developing. It's such a lovely process, such a lovely material as well. Even though I got the mask on, you get the different smells of the different woods. I can tell that this particular piece it's been in a cottage or in an old farmhouse or something like that. I can actually tell from the smell of it that there's it's a bit of vintage furniture basically. So we're going to cut out these last 4 toes of the footprint and then round that outline, and then that finishes off our first project, and then I will reveal what else I am cutting today. What's that?
How many do you want for the order?
6. Yeah. So what we're doing now, I'm just adapting. I'm moving away as well from the lines that I marked out, the guidelines. They're guidelines, so that you use them as a rough guide. But what I'm basically doing is I'm moving away from what I've drawn to make them more similar to the other guidelines that I drew on this side. So we design stuff out, we draw stuff out. Sometimes you're adapting it as you're going along. So that's something that we do. We just had. Oh, hello there. Teeth facing downwards or upwards? Well, basically they're doing both there. So we use a reverse tooth blade. So you'll see that the teeth, that flat edge. The flat edge of the tooth on most of the teeth, the flat edge is to the bottom, okay? But the bottom 6 teeth on the blade, let's have a look, let's show you one. Because it's a reverse tooth blade, those bottom 6 teeth, they're in the opposite direction. So let's just show you, actually probably easiest to show you on the number 12 blade that I've got here. Let's show you, right. So, basically, to install the blade correctly, you have those bottom 6 teeth. These ones here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually 5 on this one. On the number 9 blades, there are 6. So those teeth there, they're facing in the opposite direction. So the flat edge would be to the top. All of the other teeth on the blades are all with that bottom edge to the bottom holder. Nice thing with the Hegner, makes it nice and simple for us. It shows you the direction that the blade should be installed correctly. But that's how we do it. Oh yeah, Mark's Mark's answered that one as well. There we are. Thank you for that, Mark. Yeah, same answer you've given. Awesome. But yeah, reverse tooth blades, you'll have them facing in both directions. Alright, so the last little part for cutting out on this one is to just cut that surround. Oh, you're welcome as well with answering that question. No, any questions you've got, let us know. It's always a pleasure to be able to try and help out. So here we go. This will conclude the scroll sawing on this one. Just cut in the surround of the heart shape for the fridge magnets. There we are. I think that's the first live stream text demonstration I've done where I messed it up. So first time for everything. Right, now because that pierce work, some of those holes are not quite perfect. You can see there, I can still see a little bit of the drill hole. No problem though, all you do, you take that layer, as I'll demonstrate, take that layer, and this is something that I do. You've got to remember that, you know, because we're scroll sawing, we don't want everyone identical, because we're not, you know, we're not using CNC computers, we're not using, you know, we're not using that sort of perfect, everyone's got to be identical. So little things like that, where it's not absolutely, you know, spot on, use it to your advantage to have little subtle differences in each product, and it gives it its own appeal. So let's show you what I would do with the bottom layer just to sort it out, just to take away that drill hole. There you go, just a little bit of tidying up work that was left over on that one. You could do a bit of carving on there. The main thing, we want to add 2 fridge magnets to the back, a little bit of sanding as well. That's one thing I find with the Pebeco blade. It does leave us a little bit more work on the back edge than the standard reverse tooth blade that we work with. But all in all then, yeah, a good little cut. You got your fridge magnets, and hopefully that'll be a little idea that the carver can use. Stack cut, maybe you can stack cut 3 or 4 layers, make them a bit thinner, and then he can sell them at the Bigfoot event that he's going to. Right, on to our next project. Hopefully we can cut this one out a little bit quicker, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 piercework holes. As with this one, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, similar amounts. Let's have a little look. Well done. No, that's it. Well done, Mark, as well, because of course Mark gave the advice on that blade. So yeah, thanks for it. Always great to have the contribution from somebody like Mark, who's doing a lot of scroll sawing himself. And it helps everyone out, and we can share ideas. Right, now this one, the idea with this one is it will be a candle holder, a popular little item that we make regularly, and it's a tulips design, and it will be a combination of of scroll sawing and wood carving. One thing as well, before I carry on with this one, and I've been meaning to mention this, our scroll saw challenge. So for all of you who supported it, we really appreciate that. And yeah, we appreciate the votes. We've had 3 rounds of it, and I do believe that it is by 1 vote. I think it is 2-1. Drum roll, ready for it, to Thomas the Woodcarver. The first round, I'll have to double check, it's the last round that is very close. It's either a draw, it's either 1-1 or 2-2, or it is 2-1 to Thomas the Woodcarver. Basically, the first one, I won by a bit of a landslide. That was me who did the bird candle holder, and Dad who did the picture frame and keyring. Which is interesting because it was interesting from our perspective because he managed to use every single scrap of wood to make that project from, but he lost. And then in the workshop, his item sold more quickly than mine. So interesting how it works out. The scrap wood challenge then, I believe he won that by a single vote. The trophies won. Mine was the large trophy, his was the small trophy. And the most recent one that we've done was the, let me think, it's gone out of my head. Yeah, the Easter one. And mine was the Phoenix and his was the Easter egg. And again, I believe he won it by 1 vote. So in terms of votes, I would have won, but it doesn't work like that. It works in terms of who wins each round. So it's 2 rounds to 1 to Thomas the Woodcarver so far. And he will be presented with the trophy during a live stream at the end of the year if he stays in the winning position. I'll stop there because I just realised I put the plate back in to just do the little bits of detail on the small piece of wood. Sometimes I'm scroll sawing with the plate in, sometimes I'm scroll sawing without it. It's different jobs that we would use it or not use it, different reasons. Again, if you've got that option to use it and not to use it, generally speaking, if you're doing pierce work and you've got small bits of wood and you can clear them out of your way, then it can be easier to leave that particular plate out. If you're working on very small pieces, you need to have it in so you've got it under control and you don't go and drop the piece down that gap.
Got a piece of mahogany on that one, Dave?
On which one, sorry? Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, what it is, Thomas Woodcarver's marking out some of the different projects. So we're just trying to do some stack cutting on some of the other projects we're doing to get more out of the time we spend on the scroll saw. Could you sand those for me?
Sand them down.
Yeah, brilliant.
edges, yeah.
Just notice we missed a few comments there. What we missed there? We still have what? Line. Well, hopefully my wife still loves. I must have missed something here. And now the carver has joined. Now the carver's with us. Thomas the Woodcarver's just sanding down the design. I'm glad you made it because, yeah, Thomas the Woodcarver's sanding down the design there in next door that we've done for your Bigfoot Festival. So hope all is well. Yeah, and so he's sorting that one out. When it's back in here, I'll show you the design and we'll have to get your thoughts on it. See what you think. Is it going to be any use to you? You can see we're just cutting out these tulips. This is a candle holder design we're going to do. Otherwise I'm in trouble. I'm not sure if I've missed something here. Being at the hospital. Well, hope all is well. Hope you're okay. Hope all the family's alright. Nothing too serious. I've been in the wars today, but nothing serious. Just sanded my fingers. I got an idea. Could you do me a massive favour with it, or are you busy?
Yeah, crack on.
Right. I'll show the carver because the carver's joined him. I'll show him the design first. If that's okay.
Where's it going?
And then what I was going to say. Here we are. Here we are. This is our little design that we came up for you. And we're going to get Thomas the Woodcarver. What I'm going to ask Thomas the Woodcarver to do is to finish it off. This is our Bigfoot design. And again, let me know if you want the drawing. I can send it across to you for what you're doing. So what I'm going to get Thomas the Woodcarver to do is to just do a little bit of carving to just separate the letters. Okay. And then if you could stick a magnet on the back. Okay. Stick a magnet on the back.
Which is the front?
The one where the letters read the right way round. Here we go. We're putting Thomas the Woodcarver to the test here. Liam's arm maybe broke. Oh, what? Waiting on the X-ray results. Oh dear. Oh no, that's as you said, that's kids, you. And I hope you'll be okay.
You just want the foot and the big.
We want the big and the foot cut out on there. So yeah, so we've been doing a bit of designing for you. So send our thoughts to Liam. Not nice if he's broken his arm. We're getting into that time now. Sammy keeps climbing the tree. Like we're always worried about him falling out the tree. tricky little bit of cutting in amongst there, but we've managed to get a clean finish on it. I'll have a check as well. How's Thomas Woodcarver getting on? Coming on okay?
Yeah, not bad.
Good, good. Right, that design does look interesting. Yeah, hopefully it'll be useful for you. So we'll get it back out, and it may need, because I've got the magnets that I've got now are bigger. So when we turn it into a fridge magnet, we may need a backing board on it to conceal the magnet itself. But yeah, this one here, as you can see, taking shape. Certainly happy with these blades. I certainly think that they do a good job. Nice finish that you get on them, and I'm comfortable working with them, which you've got to be comfortable with whatever tools, with whatever kit you're working with. I think soon we will be putting in a bit of an order with Nikwa, and I probably they do all sorts. They do an ultra blade as well, so I think we'll do an order of some different ones. I'll probably do a video then reviewing some of the different Nikwa blades that we've got. How's it looking?
I'm not sure.
Hey?
Have we got any smaller magnets?
No, we need a backing board probably on there. A little backing board cut out. Leave it without the magnet, and I'll put a backing board on it.
I don't think it matters actually, because you know you can't see the magnet.
You won't see it when it's on the fridge.
No.
be fine. One.
Yeah, they're all right. I think you could adapt the design so that
Yeah.
yeah,
You want to pass them over so I'll show everybody?
well, if I do that one, I still like that
Yeah.
one, so it's easier for you to.
There we are. So it hasn't had the magnet stuck on yet, but there you go. Just a little. No, that's all right. Just a little bit of carving that Thomas the Wood Carver's done in and around there, just to bring out the letters.
Do you want to
But
shellac
yeah,
it?
just a simple design. And yeah, if you want to stick the magnet on and then shellac it, but
Oh,
just
no, me, I can't use that for you.
hey.
You have to do that.
No, but, well, you've got the thin one, which is really hard to control.
Okay.
The
Which one do you want?
the proper one is just there.
Medium?
The medium would be fine on it. I did explain as well to everyone. You missed that bit. I was saying I do believe you're winning the Scrapwood challenge by a single vote.
Why, it doesn't surprise me, dear.
It was a landslide. If we were going on votes, you'd be way behind because I won the first round by a landslide, but then you won the second round by one vote and the third round by one vote. So Thomas the Wood Carvers sneaked over the finish line so far.
I think there.
Yeah, I think so.
You're smack in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't really see that
it.
from.
No, that's fine. All you could do, as you're saying, when we're looking at that, if you wanted to completely
Is there a
conceal
stronger
it,
side or a weaker side of this?
I would go for. No, there's not. I would go for.
I thought they were.
You could use a backing board on it. There we are. No, I don't think so. There we are.
No?
No. I'll just finish off as well cutting out this one, just so everyone can see how it's going to look.
You're going to do the glue, dear.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, I'll leave that there for you.
I don't know what's happened, but my mask has gone very, very tight all of a sudden. So we'll have to just readjust it. That's better. My mask had gone so tight that I couldn't even see properly. Scroll sawing tip for the day. It's always best if you can see properly. Before I finish as well here, I was just going to mention to everyone one thing that was in my head to have a little focus on for a moment is designing. Because when it comes to designing in wood, it's one of the parts of what we do that we probably enjoy the most, isn't it? And you know, we always feel gives everything the maximum amount of individuality, but there's certain things we always try to do, isn't it? We always try to get strength into the design.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a typical example now of that magnet.
Right, okay.
I mean, we would think about
Putting
maybe doing something that the magnet wouldn't be shown from underneath.
Well, that's it. Putting a
drill
thin backing board.
Drop
the magnet
into the back of the wood before, and we would drill that before we even start.
Yeah.
In fairness, it's the first one
we've made.
that you've done.
And a lot of the time when we're demonstrating stuff, that's what you always got to remember. It's the first time we've made them. A lot of the demonstrations, this is the first time I've made it. But we're always looking for how we can have strength.
If I show...
that sort of thing. And then you're also thinking about, in terms of making, like I've done my best. If I was to redo this, maybe I would only have the tulips touching there and there to reduce one cut. You're trying to be as efficient as possible. Yeah, now Dad has just brought
There's
in...
a good example there. We've been making that for over 40 years.
Here we are. I bring in, just so I don't have to redo the camera, Dad has just completely redesigned our mini grandfather clock, would you call it?
I would say grandmother clock.
Grandmother clock. Redesigned the whole thing to make it more efficient in terms of the making process.
Yeah.
As well, we're always learning new things, we're always trying new things, and we're actually, through learning on scroll sawing, we're changing again how we make and how we produce things. Probably one of the most useful things we've learned recently is stack cutting. And okay, we haven't learnt it recently, but our application of our use and application of stack cutting is changing all the time, and it's helping us to become more efficient, really, isn't it?
What they say,
more productive.
Necessity is the mother.
Necessity is the mother of invention. Yeah, we're being squeezed more and more, and people as well. We're being squeezed, but everybody's being squeezed. So people come into the workshop, want items that are more lower value, and they lower cost.
Well, so we've avoided
putting prices up for a long time.
Which is a pity that the larger corporations.
Well, don't look at themselves and think, well, how can we do?
Same.
That's right. How can we look at not putting prices up? But that's what we've done. We're using more and more efficient methods so we can keep costs down. Okay, so that's all the pierce work finished off. So quite delicate, you know, quite a lot of work in that particular one. Again, because we're stack cutting, it makes this viable as a candle holder because you're cutting out two at the same time. Got to remember as well, then we've got to spend more time working on it to do all of the hand carving. But a lovely project, and another little design then we developed that I think, yeah, I think it will be popular. So there you have it. Those are our main cuts for today. Just a little bit of super glue where it's sticking the two layers together. But you'll see we get two candle holders. We've got some sanding work to do on there as well. I will just find, there we are, that one there. Those are the other parts to this. So this will be the base. So we'll cut that base out, and these two will be glued into position around the candle, where the candle will go, and you'll have a simple little candle holder. So that design, the way it'll go together is by putting that in just like so. We'll have a little bit of work to do in terms of adapting the shape and the size, and again we'll have to carve it all out. So there you go, that is our little demonstration for today. So we got those, oh, we just dropped one of our magnets. Where did that one go? Not sure where the magnet, there it is, I got it. There we are, so we've got our Bigfoot design. One like so, and another just like so. Our Bigfoot design, and then the cutting out we've done for our little tulip themed candle holder design. So there we go, hopefully that was interesting. Any questions or anything, as always, get it into us. Oh, I just noticed it. Kindly share your experience with spiral scroll saw blades. Yeah, I will indeed share my experience. I can't stand spiral scroll saw blades, unfortunately. I've tried the Pegasus. Was it Pegasus? I tried Pegasus. Tried Flying Dutchman. If you're going to use a spiral blade, my experience was the best one. I've never tried Nikwa ones. I've tried Flying Dutchman blades, and they're the best ones I've tried. I've tried a few other ones. Personally, I've never got on with spiral blades. I can demonstrate it one day on a live stream if you want to. I've demonstrated it on a few different videos. Basically, what I always find with them, in theory, fantastic idea, but few things with it. It cuts a larger hole, creates a lot more dust. The speed that you can feed it through the machine is a lot slower. And the finish, the quality of the finish, in comparison to standard tooth blades and reverse tooth blades, there's no comparison. The standard of quality finish that you get on it is massively inferior. Have you got anything to add to that, Tom Carver?
It may be that they're relevant for certain types of wood or material.
So we're working in hardwoods. I dare say if you were working in softwoods, something like that, you may have better results. But the ones that I've heard about talking and saying that there are some people really good with spiral blades. I think they take longer to get used to and to learn as well. And even the ones who seem very good with spiral blades, if you actually show the speed they're working at, it's very, very slow. And they also tend to admit that they spend a lot more time afterwards finishing. Right. The kind of thing that you would find, if I was cutting out this, instead of where I have to turn it all round because that blade is cutting in one direction, with a spiral blade, you can work in those sorts of directions. What I always say to people when it comes to blades and things like that, use them, try them, see if they work for you. For us personally, no. Spiral blades, I've never got on with them. But that's just my own opinion, my own experiences with them. But there we are. Thank you for joining us. Hope you all have a great week. To the carver as well, send our regards to Liam. I hope his arm is okay. I hope it's not broken, and I hope he's back up and about and running around and enjoying himself as soon as possible. But there we are. Any other questions? Feel free to ask us.